So yet again, I've tried too many times to make this video, but I'm gonna try this one more time. I want to talk to you today a little bit about kind of my experience as a musician and give myself kind of a starting point for what I want to do with music in the future and where it's led me so far and the things it's brought into my life that have been good and the bad experiences I've had that have made me have to grow. So the first experience that was really big for me in music was the first time I auditioned for The Voice. So I was 15 and it was like the big moment that made me have to say, you're gonna take music seriously or you're gonna put it on the back burner and not really focus on it so much and keep it as kind of something you do for fun and not something that you want to work for. I don't think I was ready for it. I think in a lot of ways I wasn't mentally prepared to do something like that because for me, I'm not somebody that searches for the spotlight or like looks to put myself out there too much. So doing something like that where I'm kind of like thrusting myself out there it was big, and I was really nervous going into it. I was excited and I knew it was gonna be a lot of fun, but I was also super nervous. The whole experience was really a turning point for me where I had to, like I said, decide, is this something I want to be serious about or something that I'm just gonna do for fun? So I was with my older sister. We went to Oklahoma City. I signed up for the 7 a.m. round, so we got up really early and I'd slept all night with my earbuds in, listening to my audition song over and over again, thinking like, okay, this is gonna get me ready. Like, there's no way I can mess up now. And because I was under 18, she was allowed to stay with me the whole time, which helped because I wouldn't have even gotten through as much as I did if she wasn't with me. It would have been so bad. We're lined up outside of the room where we're gonna go in an audition, and at this point people had been singing all day and it made me even more nervous because I heard how good everyone around me was, and I was like, you don't have their confidence, you don't have their skill, like you're not comfortable with yourself in that way. So it was already kind of like, oh God. The casting judge in that room was so intimidating. I don't know, something about her, maybe it was just how I was feeling, made her really intimidating to have to stand up and sing in front of. And by all I know, she could have been such a sweet, nice woman, but I was so afraid of her. They called our names in the order that they took our audition tickets in when we were waiting outside the room. And I think I was about middle, maybe one or two from the last people. Maybe I was the last person. Everyone's doing well, it was going really good, they sounded great. Then there was me. I said my name, I said what song I was gonna be singing, which was I Put a Spell on You, the Annie Lennox version. Keep in mind I only had to sing for like 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds I actually had to sing. Like that's such a small period of time. So I start and I get into it and it's going well. I get through like 2 lines. I forgot the words. I could not for the life of me think what came next. Like I listened to this song all night. I slept with earbuds in. Like I should have been 110% ready and I completely forgot the words. Like I had no idea. I was so embarrassed. I asked if I could start over and I couldn't remember. And so I just had to go sit back down. And by this point I knew like there was no way I was gonna go through. I just forgot the words in 30 seconds. They're not gonna put me through. Oh, we were getting ready to leave the room. A couple people had stopped me and were like really encouraging, and they were like, you sounded so great, like don't let this stop you, shouldn't let this be the end for you. Those people that talked to me really did a lot more for me than they know, and I don't actually even know who they are now. I didn't keep in contact with anybody, and I really wish I had. Looking at it now, I think if they would have just walked away and not said anything, it would have been so much harder for me to stick with it and want to work for it. Leaving there and thinking about it, I had to tell myself like, you need to work really hard and get yourself to a place where you can do this again, or you need to let it go. It's a tough decision because I was so embarrassed. I felt like if I couldn't get through that, I couldn't I couldn't pursue this. There's no way. Like, how would I pursue something if I can't do 30 seconds of it? So I get home and I told my sister, I was like, don't tell mom. Like, please don't tell anyone I did that. Like, do not tell them because I don't want them to know. And obviously, like, they knew, but we just kind of didn't talk about it. And I was very thankful for that as well, because I did not want to talk about that more than anything in the world. And for a really long time, I didn't talk about it. I just told people, like, I didn't make it. My mom was pushing me, like, you need to perform places, like, it's gonna help you. And I was so scared for the longest time to do it. And finally, like, I did one open mic. It was so terrible, but I think after that I was like, I don't know, still, like, I'm not sure. My sophomore year was kind of like the first time I was a little more comfortable performing, because me and my friend actually, we had a project in our ASL class where we had to sign along to a song, and we decided to do my song. It's nerve-wracking because I wasn't confident in my ability. I was thinking, God, I'm just another one of those people that's a terrible singer. No one just wants to tell me, like, no one wants to come out and be like, you kind of suck, like, you probably shouldn't do this. But anyway, like, fast forward to when we actually had to perform in class, I actually don't remember it. Like, I like blanked. Like, I just kind of got through it. So then that kind of prompted me my junior year to audition for my school's talent show. And this was the worst experience I have had so far as like music goes. This was completely terrible. But I went in with a song that I wrote, and I was thinking, this shows a lot of what I can do. It was actually Black Leather Jacket, which I do have a video of on my channel from right after I wrote it, actually, which was a really long time ago, but I do want to get a better quality video up. At this point, I'd played that song for like family, friends, and stuff a couple times, and so I go into the audition room. I'm really nervous at this point, because like, if I did well and got into the talent show, this meant performing in front of like over 2,000 people, but if I didn't, I was gonna be really disappointed in myself. Like, no one really looked up at me, and like, these are people that work at my school. Like, these are teachers and administrators. Like, it's not really a like high pressure situation. It was a school talent show I was auditioning for. So I walked in and they didn't really look at me. I like introduced myself, and like, I wasn't sure if they were gonna ask me something, like what I was gonna do. And so I kind of had to ask one of the tech people, like, am I good? Like, can I start? And they said, yeah, you're good whenever you're ready. And I was like, okay. So I started, and I kid you not, I did not get through the first verse. They stopped me and they said, thank you, that's all we need. And I had to leave. Like, I didn't even get through, not even as much as I got in my voice audition for my school talent show audition. And I was confused. I was like, I didn't mess up. Like, I was doing really well. I was getting through it. I was playing it really well. Like, I don't understand. I was kind of disappointed, because I was like, they didn't talk to me. They didn't look at me. They kind of just brushed me off after I started. And here I am, like, this is a big deal for me. I'm playing my song. So after that, like, I came home and I cried for so long, because I was like, they didn't even give me a chance. Like, I barely even got to start. Is it bad? Did I sound bad? Like, it had to have been me, obviously. Like, it had to have been something I did that made them say no thanks. I don't know, it was a bad experience for me, because they kind of just like looked down, didn't pay attention, didn't look at me, let me start, said, no, you're good, get out. It was towards the end of the day, so maybe they were just tired and really weeding through people, but the least they could have done after I had to wait, because I got there like 20 minutes before my audition time, and I didn't end up going until like almost the end of the school day. Like, I waited so long just to do this one song, and like, it took a lot for me to get there, because I was terrified, and like, I'm not a very social person at school, so putting myself out there like that was a really big deal for me. Even if they didn't want me in the talent show, they could have at least like let me play a little bit longer and at least get to the chorus, and then say like, thank you, like, that's all we needed today, and like actually talk to me and treat me like I was a student at their school, like I was a person in front of them, like sharing something I worked hard on, but they didn't, and that really sucked. My parents actually let me stay home for the talent show because I didn't want to be there, because I felt like I didn't even get a shot. I didn't even audition my senior year because I didn't want the same thing to happen. I was afraid, like, I don't know, it really shied me away from it, I guess, and made me feel like it wasn't something that I could do. But anyway, fast forward, I think this was after the talent show audition that I played in a coffee shop in Dallas for an open mic night, and I was so afraid to do this. I didn't want to walk into a place where I didn't know anybody and walk up there like I felt like I had something to offer and then actually be really bad. But we got there and my family walked in and they put my name on the list, so there was no backing out for me. And I had friends that came with to watch. I couldn't chicken out at that point because my name was on the list. There were people there to watch me. Like, I had to do it. I messed up a little bit, but I just kept going. I didn't just stop and like give up there. I kept pushing through it. I got to the end and people were actually asking me to sing something else, and I was like, what? Like, they want to hear more? And I didn't actually sing a second song because I was so nervous. I just wanted to get out of there when it was over. And after that, I started thinking about auditioning for The Voice again and looking out for some audition places that were close enough for me to get to, like Oklahoma City was. My mom actually got an email saying that there was an audition in Houston coming up. So I think I was sitting in English class and I went onto the website and I got myself all signed up. At this point, I'd already started like getting a little bit better at guitar, practicing a lot more songs and working with them to fit me better, figuring my voice out and my style out, which was really, really, really helpful for me to actually know what I wanted to sing and what I liked and what was comfortable for me. Get to the audition in Houston and my dad came with me and it was a couple hours drive. I kind of just stayed more relaxed with it so I wouldn't like psych myself out over it. And because I was 18 at this point, he couldn't come all the way through the line into the audition room with me. Like, he could only come to the door of the arena with me. We get to the part where he has to leave me and I have to be by myself the rest of the day. People would start a song where I was in line, and then way like in the back of the line they would like pick it up, or they would like challenge back with another song, and like there was just a lot of singing all day and it was so much fun. And once I kind of figured who was going to be in my room based off my last like audition experience, I started talking to those people. And so after a really long day of waiting and being moved around because it was raining and we were in a baseball stadium where the roof wasn't over for whatever reason, our line gets pulled to go wait upstairs, and they section us off in our groups of 10 and we wait for a little bit, and then they walk us down and sit us in front of the room we're going to go into. I'm not really this person when I don't know people around me, but I was talking to everybody and I was like, you're gonna do great, and you're gonna do amazing, and you're gonna nail it, and you're gonna rock it, and it's gonna be perfect, and we're all gonna do amazing, and it's gonna be great. Like, there's nothing to be worried about. And meanwhile in my head I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was like, maybe if I tell these people these things, I'll believe them for myself. They call us to go into the room, and we had watched the people that were in the room before us come out, and we saw who went through and who didn't. 6 people out of 10 in the room before us got the callback. In my first room, 2 people went through, and that was still kind of a lot for a room, because if you think of it, there's thousands of people there and they have to narrow it down a lot. So having 6 people in one singular room go through is crazy. Like, that's not something that happens. We're already like, oh my god, 6 people went through. Like, our odds just went down like crazy. The casting judge in this room, she was incredible. She was so kind and so funny, and she kept the energy really, really light in the room, which made it so much better than my first audition. I mean, it was worlds better. It gets to me, I'm like, oh god, wait, that's my name. So I stand up and I'm like, my name is Ray. I'm gonna sing I Feel a Sin Coming On by Pistol Annies. And she said, all right, go ahead whenever you're ready. And I kind of gave myself a second, and then I started and I got through the whole thing. And that does not sound like a big deal, but it was such a big deal for me. Just being able to finish the song, I wasn't confident it was gonna work out the way it did, and I was thinking, you're gonna forget your words again, like that's just a nervous thing you do, you're never gonna get over it. And being able to get through that whole song was so good for me. I didn't get through, no one in my room actually went through, which after 6 people went through before us, what could you expect? But we all kind of talked to each other and like, no matter what they tell us, like each one of us did really well today. Like we were all proud of ourselves and each other. Leave the room, she says, thank you all. Unfortunately, none of you are gonna be going through to the callbacks, but you all did really well here today. She was super kind, and we left and we were all talking to each other because now we got to like really talk about what just happened in there. There was so many good people in that room. It's a shame that no one made it. I walk out the door and he was kind of like waiting, like, what happened? Like, are you gonna tell me? Or like, are you gonna start crying? Are you gonna be excited? Like, I was smiling so big, like you probably would have thought I went through because I was so happy, even though I didn't. And I looked at him and I was like, I didn't make it, but I'm so happy right now. I got through it and I felt really good about it at the same time. So it wasn't like I just got through it, but it wasn't great. I got through it and I was nervous, but I did well for myself. I go home and I keep practicing, keep working. This time I didn't let it like put a dent in what I was doing. One of the girls from my school actually asked me to do a segment on our school news, which was crazy to me. And then another girl that I know actually texted me and asked if I'd want to perform at Relay for Life. And that was so scary, but really exciting that I was even like an option to do that. It was a big deal for me because coming from the same person who at this school was told no before even getting through like 30 seconds of her talent show audition and then being asked to play like a school sanctioned event, that right there is pretty drastic. I found out it would be an hour set. I've never put a set together in my life before this, and I've never been asked to play somewhere. So those two things put together, I was like, this is gonna go wrong. It's like something's gonna be bad. Or like I was terrified. I was like, so many things are gonna go wrong. I'm gonna mess up so bad. Almost instantly after I got out of my car, I was fine. Like I was not nervous. So I walked over and I was trying to figure out where they wanted me to go, when they wanted me to like start getting set up and everything, and I was completely comfortable. Like there was not a part of me that was nervous. And as I was playing, like I was looking around and like obviously my whole family was like standing in front of me, and they're like the only people standing there because there's other things happening at Relay for Life for people to do. And then there's just like my little family standing there. I would like look around at people that were there and I would see people look at me and like turn and look up or like be actively listening even if they weren't in front of me, which was really cool. Yeah, you're up there performing, people are gonna look, but like I don't know, it was validating for me to see people actually interested. A group of people I don't even know came over. Like there was a bunch of people, they came over and sat down in front of me and they sat and listened for a little while, and it was like they chose to come listen to me. They were paying attention to what I was doing, and that's normally something that scares me. It was so cold, I was shivering, and it was windy, and so I told them, like, after the music stand flew off, I was like, I'll just do one more and we can stop this. Like, it's not gonna get better. Like, it's okay, I'll just do one more and it'll be fine. I finished with my song, Black Leather Jacket, again, which I've talked about like 90 times in this video, but the people that were helping with tech, like one of the teachers at my school was helping with tech. She was like, you wrote that last song you sang? I was like, yeah, that's mine. She was like, you need to keep writing, and she was saying really encouraging things to me, and we talked for a really long time. I told her about my first audition for the talent show and like how it made me not want to audition the second time, and so she would talk to my family actually too, which was really nice, and she just made me feel really good about everything that I was doing, and it was nice to have like a little validation again. So I'm gonna try and start busking and doing more open mics and stuff so I can get a little more experience, and it's really fun. I actually had a lot of fun up there, which I never thought is something I would have fun doing because I thought I'd always be too afraid to actually enjoy it. So I am planning on auditioning for The Voice again in June, which is like a month and a half away. So that's really, really exciting. And yeah, that's pretty much my experiences so far. The reason I decided to make this video is for me to be able to talk out loud about what has kind of helped me grow. See this and see that it actually does get better. Like, you'll grow as a person, and you'll grow as an artist, and you'll grow as a musician. When I did my first audition, I wasn't sure that it was something I really wanted because it felt like something so far out of my reach. And now as I'm progressing, I see that it's really not that far. If I want it, it's something I can do. And I may not be super famous someday, but I can still have music a big part of my life, which is something now, it's always gonna be there. So this is something for me to look back and watch and remember where I started, remember those experiences, and always have with me, like in my back pocket, saying, you know where you started and look at you now, and to remind myself to be proud of what I'm doing and how far I've come and everything that I've been able to accomplish. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna hopefully have some covers and some of my songs posted. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.